Hey, Katie, it's that time of year again. If you're a stylist, a salon owner, or someone who just loves this industry, I want to invite you to the room that feels like home. Presley Poe and Friends is happening April 25th and 26th in Frederick, Maryland. It isn't about the hype, it's about you belonging.
This weekend's about community, real connection, real conversation. Presley Poe themselves is the heartbeat of this event, and they're bringing people they genuinely believe in. Ruth Roche, Jackie Davis, Krista Bartik, Cynthia Lumsey, these are artists that care about the room, not just the stage.
You will learn, you'll be inspired, but more than anything, you'll be seen. Whether you're early in your career or decades in, this is the space where you can exhale and remember why you chose this industry in the first place.
Now, seats are limited, and this room fills fast. If this feels like something you need right now, don't wait. Grab your ticket at PresleyPoeandFriends.com, and we can't wait to welcome you.
Hey, welcome to your day off. My name is Corey, and sitting with my friend Katie.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Hey, we got some big news. So, what are we, like 6 weeks out?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, 6 weeks out. So, in 6 weeks, on April 20th and 26th, we have Presley Poe and Friends. For anyone listened or has emails and stuff, this is actually our last Presley Poe and Friends. But I assure you, there's nothing going on there. It's just time to move on. I think
Elevation.
it's elevation. Yeah, exactly. So,
New era.
new era. So this will be the last year of Presley Poe and Friends. Certainly with us and at the temple and things. But I'm pretty excited about it. I cannot tell you of the show and just kind of our relationship with working with Presley and stuff has been pretty incredible.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like an end. It's definitely like a celebration of like
Yeah.
everything we've accomplished and where it's going. It's very exciting where we're going.
Yeah, it's cool. Really, really cool. It's really cool to kind of like honestly, it's almost like a test, right? Like we've done this with Presley. Can we continue on, doing other shows and stuff with other brands and other
Don't give
artists?
away too much.
I don't want to give away anything. However, it's cool. I'm just, back to like super proud of what we've built with Presley Poe and Friends and just the show and like just
The community.
the community. That's a big one. The people that we've gotten to work with over the years and stuff. It's really, really cool. And, it's beyond anything that we could have ever imagined when we started this in 2019. It's cool. I know, like you said, it is a celebration, but I also know, like at the end of the show, like I'm gonna be a little wrecked
There's
a
gonna
little
be
bit.
some tears, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's really cool that it's sending for the right reasons too.
Yeah.
Which anyway. So yeah, if you haven't gotten your tickets or if you haven't, go to the
There's not
website.
a lot left. I think we only have like 15 VIP and a couple of general admission too. So
Yeah.
it's like
So
not a lot left on the
so if you want to go, if you want to see the very very last Presley Poe and Friends, PresleyPoeandFriends.com. All the tickets are there. Also, there's tickets for, Sunday's events and stuff like that. But I don't want to make this an entire ad read. You just listen to a little ad. Hey, listen, we have a pretty special guest on who we're like passing faces, whenever we go to hair shows and stuff. Like we see each other at these events at maybe at a bar or two occasionally as well. But today we're bringing a podcast and I'm because well, our guest is Sheri Doss, and she's kind of moved from Redken over to Bumble and Bumble, and the stuff that Bumble and Bumble is up to this year is so exciting.
yeah. I can't wait to hear where gone to where she's going.
And I also love to talk to career industry people,
Mhm.
people that have been in the industry for at least 5 years or so.
What a career, 5 years.
5 years, super long career there. But what isn't that the average?
Oh,
Well, that's a
we
whole
don't
other
let's
story.
not
We
go.
don't exactly. Well, that's a conversation.
That's a Gordon conversation.
I was to say that's a Gordon Miller conversation. He'll let us down.
No, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
awesome. So, without any further ado, and with applause, Sheri, welcome to the
Hi, thank you so much for having me today. I'm super excited.
awesome. Thank you for making the time. I know that I know that you're a busy lady these days, but thank you for making the time for us. Hey, Sheri, where are you from?
I'm originally from California and was born and raised there. In 2009, I moved to New York to work for Redken locally here. And yeah, Originally, I'm a Cali girl, West
What
Side.
part of California? What part of California you from?
Los Angeles area, Ventura County when I was growing up, and then right before I moved to New York, I actually had a mobile home on PCH. It was one of my favorite places I've ever lived. It's great.
Sherry's like a hip
Yeah,
she's like a
yeah.
hippie in a trailer in California.
And then to New York, holy cow, what a difference.
Or is
It
it?
was definitely a difference. I mean, I worked for Redken for over 30 years, starting out as an artist. And there was a point in my career I had come thinking, yeah, I'm ready to move here. It was right before 2000. And the more time I spent, I was like, I think I'm actually a California girl. Stayed in California for a little while. And then about 9 years later, just, the evolution of my career, I needed to come to New York. So big difference living here. I've lived in multiple places around the city and in Jersey City. I am a little bit of a nomad in that sense. I don't get super attached to my homes. I've lived in over 42 homes. I'm going to be 55. So I kind of like, oh, I need more space now. I'll move somewhere with more space. But I feel like I've got a really good balance and kind of know how to live in the city while working in the city and have that balance at the same time. So I'm happy.
When did you get a hairdresser for years, like working behind the chair? What was that trip like?
Yeah, well, my mom owned salons when I was a kid, single mom, 2 kids. My father passed away when I was quite young, and we didn't really have a family support. So she went to beauty school. She was hanging drywall during the day and went to beauty school at night, and then started owning salons. And to be very honest, and people who know my story know this story, thought this was the worst industry ever because she was never home. She always was struggling. We were in California, so first state to start to booth rent back in the 80s. And all of her staff were going to walk out if she didn't allow them to rent their stations. So she turned that over to booth renter. But if the P&L is not built that way, then it's not going to be successful. So she ended up closing that salon, opening another that was a dual booth renter and commission. And then people were stealing. It was just hard. It's a hard life to be a salon owner. And so I thought to myself, wow, this is terrible. But right out of high school, I went to beauty school to get my manicuring license. So that was my first, beauty license in the state of California. I did nails with her in her salon. And then back then it was pink and white acrylics. So it was like doing a one length bob on the hour every hour is so boring. And I just was like, I poke my eye out. So a friend at the salon convinced me to go back to get my hair license, which I did. And coming out, I actually, hit the ground working and doing a lot really fast. I grew a clientele really fast. Did some work for Aveda as an artist in the local area of Thousand Oaks, Westlake Village, Ventura County. And then I was approached by Redken and was asked if I wanted to be an artist on stage doing hair color because I was using Goldwell and some Shades EQ and really had a great color clientele. And yeah, so started doing that and started educating and going into salons and figuring out how to speak to salon owners and stylists in a way that helped them grow their income so that they didn't have to have the same life that maybe I did as a child of a salon owner or that my mom had to have. And it really ignited something in me because I was going to college. I was going to be a high school math and English teacher. And so then, I thought, you know what, this is where I need to be. And very quickly became a full-time educator for Redken and just spent my career doing what I love best, which is helping hairdressers to have the very best life that they can possibly have.
That's extraordinary. It's really cool that, like, you kinda, like, worked your way through. I mean, from manicurist to did you ever assist in the salon as a hair
My gosh. So yes, I did. I got out of school and I was assisting, but I would recommend Shades EQ service to the clients while I was shampooing them, right? And I'm like, you really could use a glaze. It doesn't have to change the color of your hair. It could just add shine. It closes down the cuticle. It's going to be amazing until the next time. And the clients were saying yes, right? Well, the person that I was assisting went to the owner and said, because this was not at my mom's salon, and said, I just need a shampoo girl. I don't need somebody that recommends services. And I'm like, I'm making you like an extra
Need someone to add
$400 a day. Like,
Redken.
what is happening? And so the salon owner came and told me that. And I'm like, then I just want to go on the floor. And he's like, okay. That was it. So it was like a 3-month assistant. And then I was like, bam, there I am doing hair behind the
You were
chair.
good.
Well, that was it. Yeah, the salon owner's like, "Well, I gotta make her happy," like the
Well, also,
hairdresser.
she's obviously making more money for
But
the
this is what I'm saying,
salon.
but she's bringing income, so she just spends her the income, line there. That's amazing.
Yeah, her
I mean,
name is
she literally
thought about that till
what
right now.
what was her name?
Harry.
Oh, Terry, there must have been so many jokes about for 3 months. Terry, thank you very much for giving Sheri a career.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. That's such a great story. I can't imagine, like, if I had an assistant that was selling and by the way, everything is a hairdresser. Like, I assume you would have applied the shades and stuff.
I
I guess maybe
applied
you
the
have to a lot.
shades, I shampooed it out, and I did the blow dries. So I'm like, what is the problem here? Like,
Hey,
you
Sheri,
you
can I hire
literally
you as
have to
my
do nothing else.
Bizarre. I mean, some people.
Yeah, I think she just didn't want it to seem like maybe she was missing out on servicing the clients, and didn't know how to do it. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the real question, Sheri. How many of Terry's clients jumped ship once you were on the floor?
Yes, yes, that happened.
Now Terry's really pissed.
If we You have to stay open-minded in this industry. You have to be able to grow. You have to be able to try new stuff and, like invite other people in and collaborate. And I mean, if not, you're gonna lose your clientele.
That's right. I mean, there's enough for everybody, right? Like we don't I sometimes I find that we are the most supportive. I mean, I think it's the best industry in the world. And I do think
Agreed.
that, we have a lot of people that support each other. And then there's just every now and then you run into somebody who thinks it's a competition. And it's not a competition for stylists because we all have so many different personalities and approaches. Like our clients will find us, right? My sister's also a hairdresser, and the clients she does are completely different than the clients I do. And that's okay. It's okay. Just it doesn't have to be a competition. Brands, I get it that brands can be competitive, but also we can support each other. And in that support, there's enough for everybody. There really is. I really believe that.
For the advice that I got when I was younger, when I was younger, that they I lost my train of thought.
You're thinking about being young.
That your that your clientele is a reflection of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Right? So
Yep.
that's why there's enough to go around because we're all individuals, so we're just gonna attract the one. But, there was a time where I couldn't stand any of my clients, so I had to do, like, a personality check. I had to look in the mirror, "You're attracting this, right?"
Yeah.
It's
Aw.
your mirror.
Totally is. I mean, some of those are still hanging out, but I don't know what to do. Some clients just won't leave.
I know that. I know. You try to
If
find
you
her.
wanna we're just making content and having fun.
Oh.
Oh, that's amazing. So, okay, so you've never
I'm sorry. What did you say? I think you cut out.
were you ever a receptionist?
No, well, I mean, I was a receptionist at my mom's salon. I don't know if that counts.
Sure it counts. It counts. You've done all the
Yeah,
jobs there.
I've done all the jobs. I swept, back in the 80s, I cleaned the tanning beds.
Thank God everybody can be equally armed. I mean, but sure, not even like in the salon though. Like when you were talking about like you were doing PK classes like in salons and stuff. Like when that was the track. I guess it's still the track on in some sense, but that's really it's really cool. I mean, you've literally done like every now
Yeah.
you've got to own like Bumble and Bumble at some point, and that way you've stepped all the way to the top.
Okay, we'll talk about that another time. Save that for a future podcast.
That's a future podcast. So okay, so you were with Redken for 100 years, and
Yep.
and how like did you say 30?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Redken's got this way of maybe Wella has it a little. They have like a bunch of like multi-decade like employees
Yes.
or people that company.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if you can get a group of people together, it's like we were saying about clientele. You are the company that you keep. And if you can get a group of people together that are like minded, that want to serve the industry, then you're going to feel motivated to stay there. When I left, I didn't leave from Redken to come to Bumble and Bumble. My mom lives in Central America and her health was not stable. So I actually left because I wanted to be near her. I didn't want to wait until it was too late or until she couldn't go out and enjoy life and we could go, have margaritas and go to the casino and all that stuff. So at the end of 2023, I actually left Redken and moved down to Costa Rica, where I have property like 4-minute walk from her house. And I opened a taco place. Opened a restaurant, an 80-person restaurant that served tacos and margaritas.
Oh my god.
And yeah, we were wildly busy, but I was flipping tacos and I was thinking, this is so far. Somebody came in who said, I've seen you on stage at Symposium. You look so different. I'm like, yeah, I have heels and sparkles there. And here I'm like a kitchen pirate, like, and I probably smell like a taco. But, so it wasn't I'm leaving Redken. It was I needed and wanted to be near my mom. And I was glad I did. She went through some major health issues. She ended up having her leg amputated. She went blind in both eyes because of her corneas. We finally got her, I call it a bionic cornea. So it's made out of titanium and she can see now, which is great. But I was able to be there for all of that time. And then, as her health started to get better, Shane Wolf, who used to oversee the American brands at L'Oreal, he had left and is over at Estee Lauder now and oversees the hair care cluster, which is Aveda and Bumble and Bumble. And he asked me about a year ago, while I was flipping tacos, if I wanted to do a project for Bumble and Bumble. And I said yes. And so then I came out and I visited to see what the project was. Oddly, I was like, this sounds like my old job, not really a project. And he's like, and I'm like, I live in Costa Rica. And so we just agreed that I would, come out every, couple months to New York, a couple weeks every month to New York. And then as rainy season started to hit Costa Rica, we closed the restaurant for rainy season. And I saw the potential here at Bumble and we moved back because I think that the potential to bring craft back to the industry where it's gone and not for, I mean, so many things have changed. Hours have lessened. I write some curriculum for a beauty school in California. And when you drill it down, it's about 50 hours of haircutting curriculum that they go through as a beauty school student. They graduate, they no longer have to use a model to get their state board license anymore in California. Then they don't want to assist, so they jump into a studio and they wonder why they're not making money when they have their TikTok education. And so I feel like it's my duty and responsibility to help the industry because I hate that they leave, right? A third of our industry leaves every year, and they leave because they don't feel supported. They don't feel like they have true partners, and they don't understand the beauty and the breadth of the career that you can have in the industry. And so, what I feel like is at Bumble, I have that opportunity to bring that craft back and help people to grow not only in their skills to be better hair cutters and better hair stylists, but also grow their skills to grow beyond their skills, which is to really love the industry and be inspired by it.
That's awesome. And the team you guys have accumulated is like extraordinary, right?
Thank you.
Ashley Norman just signed. I know Phillips there, and then it's go through the list because I don't want to say anyone that might not be on the team.
Well, I won't say a lot of people because it's a long list, right? But we have Bit Sanders. So Bit actually used to work here at Flagship. She worked in the network and has been one of our longtime educators in razor craft and worked backstage with Bumble and Bumble. So she's really been she's iconic, but she's also pivotal to helping us, understand how not to leave any of the amazing foundation that Bumble has built over the years behind, but simultaneously build curriculum that meets hairdressers where they're at now. We have David Lopez, Philip Wolf, Ashley Norman, Hugo Urias, Juan Carlos, Tara Abramowitz came over with us. We have I call them the flagship five. So we have Coco Santiago, basically, I think like the third person ever hired at our flagship salon so many years ago, which was opened in 1977 on Hairdressers Row in New York City. We have Frankie, who is also iconic backstage. One of my favorite pictures in life is her doing Machine Gun Kelly's hair. We have Tom Gallagher, who just from a razor cutting perspective iconic. Ivan, who used to work with Philip with Laurent, and then Jamie Lynn, one of the newer additions. I mean, I say newer, she's been with the Bumble flagship for 8 years. We have a group that have been network educators in the network salons for a long time. And then a handful of new people who just have been in love with the brand and so excited to get their hands on it. So we needed to amass a group because as of February 2nd, we were, for the first time ever, available to any pro that wanted to purchase our products in partnership with Salon Centric. So we landed on the shelves February 2nd. And that means we also have landed in studio classes across the country. So we're super excited because education is now from Bumble available to hairdressers to help them in their craft.
That's amazing. I know that like Bumble, they've always had great education, but you had to be like you said before, like you
Yeah.
had to be like this affiliate salon, and it was a lot of effort there. So,
Yeah.
if you can kind of take that education and move it on our industry and not just, those salons. Hey, let me ask you this, and this is a real question. Like, do affiliate salons, do you think that they're annoyed that it's in Salon Centric now? Do you think that because they've lost a little bit, and I'm not putting words anywhere, but the exclusivity?
Well, I mean, let's be transparent, right? The exclusivity to consumers. We are available on shelf in Ulta, at Sephora. We're on QVC. We're on Amazon. Okay. So
Yes,
our
sir.
products have been available widely for some time now. I think that for the most part, we are very supported by the network salons, and my goal is to support them as well. So we still service our network salons directly through our own sales force. And we have separate special education that we do just for network salons. So we do something called Bumble Live, which they can either have in their own salon or we can do a larger event. We just did one for Mosaic in Las Vegas that was really, really widely popular and received, and people have seen that. We also have something called Bob, which is Best of Bumble, that is only available to our network salons. And then we have something called the BB Expert Program, which we will be rolling out as of April with a start of May, whereby every network salon can have 1 to 2 stylists that are really the go-to person for Bumble. But it's more than that. We'll have monthly calls, we'll have quarterly trainings, they'll get advanced access to any new product launch that we have. And they're part of a group that does testing for us. So we'll send our products out, get their feedback, and tweak formulas and or dispensing in order to make sure that all of our products are based on what a pro needs, not what our marketing calendar says.
So that's just like traditional commission salons. I
Yeah.
mean, like what if people in suites
Yeah, so
use or
people in
sell?
suites, great. So they actually, there's a few things that we've done. So our Bumble Pro page on Instagram as of January has flipped over to highly educational. So we want that to be the go-to place for any salon professional to be able to get their education. It links out to either Salon Centric's education page where you can sign up for studio classes across the country. And it also links out to what we launched in February, which is our Bumble Pro YouTube page. So we have currently 9 longer format videos on there. 2 of them are finishing our iconic round brush blow dry and then our flat brush blow dry. And then we have a snatched pony on there. And then the rest are razor cutting classes. So we've got Razor 101, the precision bob, bad bob, long layers is on there. The razor shag is on there. So people can go and access education and subscribe there as well. And then we have shortcuts that we roll out on our Bumble Pro page. And then we're showing up at all of the shows. So we will be at ABS. We were just in Oklahoma with Salon Centric. We will be at ABS. We're going to be with Salon Centric at a playbook event in DC at the end of April. We'll be at here. We're doing something with Hairbrained in September, BTC in August. So, June, we're going to launch something here called the House of Bumble New York experience, which is a 2-day experience as well as a hands on class.
So
That's
that I
awesome.
was gonna ask you about the House of Bumble. Is that like the education's all incorporated under that or is it separate?
Yeah, so the House of Bumble is what we actually call our physical location. So I'm currently in the House of Bumble on the 5th floor. That's where our offices are. And then on the 6th floor, we have our flagship salon. So the House of Bumble is, was coined this many, many years ago from our founder when he bought the spaces. And so, for me, it's like, okay, these artists, we want them to come in, help ideate here, etc. They're the House of Bumble collective. And then I want to bring people here to the House of Bumble experience where we can take them around meat packing. We have a saying that the eye is sharper than the scissor or the blade. And so we want to walk them around, have them start to look at things differently outside of what they see every day behind the chair. And then on the second day, they'll be on the salon floor actually doing hands on, having a hands experience with people from our House of Bumble collective. Yesterday, we did something called a Wavemaker Innovation Panel where we bring stylists from different backgrounds and experiences from all over the country. We had 7 of them here. We use the morning time to ideate, like, what's in your kit that's not Bumble and Bumble that you can't live without. And then separately in the afternoon, we give them some innovation that we've been playing with. This is David Lopez did this one yesterday. I'm all, okay, well, that's not ever going to. And so we get their feedback, right? And it's everybody from people who key shows to, we had 2 people that we brought from that were winners from the show we did with Salon Centric in Oklahoma. We put razors without the actual blade in it underneath the chairs. And 2 people won a trip here. We brought them here to be part of the experience so they can tell us, how would you use this product? Would your client take the product home? What would you do differently? So that we make sure that we're launching the products that make the most sense to the salon professionals.
That's awesome.
There's a
Yeah.
few things happening.
And it's so much. This information out. I mean, now being a part of Salon Centric, that's going to be a great vehicle. But I mean, how do you get this information out that this is available?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that we have a good opportunity to do that in a better way. Launching things on Bumble Pro and we're a lean, mean team over here. So there's just a few of us that work on all of this. I think that we're going to continue to work on it. We're going to continue to find ways to get it out there and, tell your friends.
Well, I mean, it's really cool that they're showing up at the shows too, because like that's like a and they haven't been there, right? Like we've never seen really Bumble
No,
at
we've never
shows.
participated. We've never
Yeah,
participated. Oklahoma was an aha. We got there, and set up, and then the team was like, "We've never worked a show before," and I was like, "Okay, let's let's back up. This is
back it on up.
how it is to work a show."
Yeah.
Uh,
Crash course.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they probably
Water and coffee diet.
they're
That's
like, "Are
really
we having lunch?" I'm like, "No lunch for you. You've got to just work." No, I'm just kidding.
What lunch?
exactly.
What is
It's a
food?
it's
Hey, hairdresser.
by the Aveda
Yeah.
room. You grab food off a Veda table.
Stick your arm in that curtain. See what you can grab.
That's totally the backspace. Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
that is
gosh.
so.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've
that's
never
so.
been though.
No, exactly. I mean, we should do like videos of what a backstage looks like.
I was
Absolutely.
and
You might be. You know what? You might be right because on this. But the backstage is just absolute. It's either chaos or like people sleeping, like under tables or something. Under lunch, and it's always the same lunch.
ugly.
No,
It's
I
bagels.
think well, I always find it fascinating, right? Because I don't know how quickly I can get to a picture, but it's Saturday. I'm learning that, everything's new for everybody. Our booth didn't show up, which of course is the most stressful. But we ended up, do I have a picture of it? Oh yeah, we had to like finagle something, a frame that wasn't the right size to fit but do you see it's like curving over? I'm like, it is on its last leg. There is zero chance.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah, yeah.
but that's like the real, right? Like, okay, we don't have a booth. We have some graphics. What do we do? How do we make this work? Anyway, it always works out.
Guys, right? Like that. That's
Mhm.
it. You watch people improvise. There used to be a guy, unfortunately, he passed away during COVID. Oh my gosh, his name just went out of my head too. Curtis. Curtis.
Oh,
Curtis was our guy. Like, yeah, he worked with Ruzel, but we were at a show. If we needed something, find me dental floss. And 10
yeah.
minutes later, he's coming with dental floss. It's like the guy's like the most amazing dude.
He's like the mom at a wedding that literally has the kit of, like, everything or, like, no
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And then, yeah,
Mhm.
he was great. And like, again, he was a name that nobody would really know. I mean, he was on our podcast, but but he was the guy that anything happened out of nothing.
Voice for the
Oh yeah, he
I
had
podcast.
a great
love
voice.
that. I love that.
Wow.
Well, bless him.
Yeah,
Curtis. Yeah. And yeah, and now I'm gonna reminisce about
I
my
know.
boy Curtis. I love that guy. That's really cool. I'm looking for you guys at all. Also, and I don't know if anyone cares about this other than me, but like I always find it interesting too how someone like we'll use Ashley as an example. We could use Philip as the example as well. We use Ashley as the example. Like, when she shows up to these shows, an artist like Ashley, like, she's got a couple brand commitments, right? Like she's
Yeah.
got, she's
Yeah.
got like off and now she's going to have Bumble and, whoever else she's
Just
playing with.
Mhm.
18 as well, so just, a corporate level, like how do you organize everybody's calendar?
yeah.
And then B, and how does not, and also how does Ashley like, guys, I really need fucking lunch, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I need to do that, how do you, I guess Ashley more, but like as a brand, how do you guys navigate that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. For me, when I was building the team, it was very important to me that people who came over, they came over because they believed in in the mission that I have, right? They believe in helping hairdressers first, and they believe in the craft. And together, that we will make hairdressers better, we'll make their life better, and that will make the world better. Because I believe all of those things. If you don't believe that, or you're just coming over to try and get a contract, then I'm actually not interested. And there were people that came over that are, that knocked on the door and they wanted a contract. And, in the initial stages, we'd have those conversations and, then there'd be a couple things that came up and it's like, you know what, you actually don't want to come here. You want me to guarantee you money. And that's not going to work for me. Just like, as we were negotiating the contracts, the people who are on the other side are very used to like, okay, how many posts? What do you want the post to be? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want you to post because you want to post, not because I'm telling you to post, right? And I want you to post what you want to post, not what I tell you to post. So obviously, if we're going to go to ABS, you should talk about how excited you are and how people can come see you there and where you're going to be at while you're there. When we're at ABS, I would hope that you'd be having such a great time. You will post about your journey, whatever part of that you want it to be. If you want it to be your morning coffee and then you're so busy you post nothing else until the very end, that's okay too. To me, it has to be very, very authentic. So, Ashley, when she came to me, she grew up as a Bumble network educator. So, she used to be in a Bumble salon. And she was the one that was chosen to come here, get education, and bring it back to her salon. So she has a very long history. She showed up the first time I talked to her in a jacket she had made herself that had Bumble all over it, etc. And so, when I was talking to her, I was like, okay, what is it that you love about Bumble? What makes you want to come back, in this capacity? And so in that conversation, it's like, I'm not going to have you not have a contract with Schwarzkopf or not have a contract with K18. My focus is styling and haircutting. So if you are so passionate about those things, then you need to ask your other manufacturers if they're okay if you're exclusive with us for styling. Because that's what's more important to me. You could K18 finishing, great. Obviously, we don't have hair color, so that's great as well. So so that's first and foremost. You have to want to be here and you have to be on the same mission and you post what's right. What feels, like what your heart wants to post, not what I tell you to post. And so to me, that's very important. The second thing is on site. I'm just kidding. I let them eat. I let them eat. It's been a little bit of a learning because when I was at L'Oreal, I'd have somebody who and Redken, I did have somebody who supported me who was just an expert at all things shows on the back end, certified meeting planner, etc. And now you got like me trying to do it, right? So I'm like trying to order the food didn't come or it's early, but I'm also setting up the booth and da 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 da. So there's a little bit of systems to put an infrastructure together that will make sure that everything's taken care of that I'm in the process of doing, but we're all working on it together. I keep saying, we're building the plane while we're flying it, but everybody's sitting in first class and we're going to land perfectly. So long as everybody has that same passion and commitment, then we're going to be in a good place. So I'm not sure if that answers, I do let her eat. In Vegas, I did order Uber Eats to make sure everyone had lunch.
Great places in Vegas. Well, if Sheri, if you ever need a showrunner, I can't recommend my girl good enough. She's awesome. This is what she does.
I mean,
Amazing.
after 6 years of planning our own show, it's like everything's on autopilot now. Like it
Nice.
feels so good out from our show at the end of
Yeah.
April. It's actually the weekend of the playbook that you're talking about with Salon Centric.
Yes.
And I've got like nothing to do.
Yeah.
So feels good.
Exactly.
Do you have nothing to do to the point that you want to be in DC?
We were just talking
Well, yeah.
about that
So
yesterday.
we had a call with we're located in DC. So this is our local area. So we had a call yesterday with Salon Centric, and if you're going to be at the playbook, you may see us there. A, and then
Okay.
B, are you going to be at ABS?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be there. They actually set us up. Thank you, ABS, so much this year. And anybody that's listening, it's going to be at ABS. If it's ABS, they have like a class. You have the floor, and then off of the floor is like a classroom area. Our podcast is going to be set up in the lobby of the classroom building. So last year, if you were there last year, we are right at the beginning of the salon. It's not the
Where
salon.
Sam Via's class was.
Yeah, it's where Sam Via's class was last year. Right there, right outside the front door there. I'm sure like we'll hear like the mics pick up the doors opening and closing like this. So we're in a really, really cool location
It'd be
this
fun.
year.
The background noise when we're on podcast
So do
live.
I.
So fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Cool. You
and
can
we
come
we
visit us
definitely
in the back room and we can show what it's really like.
whoa,
That's
we're
fun.
gonna go have we're gonna with Bumble and Bumble
Yeah.
whenever they order lunch. We'll just go. We've done that a
Yes.
few times. We stole lunch
We have
from
to sit still.
I know. We stole lunch from Babeless,
We
right?
Yeah.
did, yeah.
We stole
Yeah.
lunch from
Yeah.
Babeless, yeah,
They always welcome us.
we-
They're so nice.
yeah, Babeless has been amazing to us as far as like feeding us and all that. Just in general, they've been amazing to us. But and
Shout out to Emily
and Becca.
and Becca.
I mean,
Love
Becca's
them.
really the one that usually feeds us. Fair enough. That's
We're just going to hang out with you because apparently we'll get fed.
totally hang out with us.
Yeah.
But we actually again, if you're going to ABS, not to make this a shameless plug, but let's make it a shameless plug. If you're going, man, we're lining up some really cool people to talk to that weekend, and everyone's schedule is coming together. Just look for us in the hallway.
Absolutely.
Look for us in the hall.
Absolutely.
That's cool. But so we'll definitely see you there. I'm excited. I'm excited that we're going to get to see everybody like on the road now, because we'll see them at Premiere as well. At
Yeah.
Premiere, if you're going to Premiere, just stay at the Hyatt. Just trust me.
Yeah, I don't know where we're staying. Somewhere. I'm sure it's at the Hyatt, but we'll have to look. Yeah. Right now, I'm just trying to lock down our booth.
If you need a showrunner,
Yeah, I know.
call my girls.
I know. But don't worry. I've got this, that little information locked in my brain.
That's awesome. So share what are you up to other than changing the bump? What's in your future?
What's in my future? I have no idea, but I think that, when I was young, I came up with my mission statement, right? Which was to learn something new every day and to help others learn something new so they can live their very best life. And that was when I was 19. I'll be 55 in June. And I think that for me, what I've always taught is that you have to sort of figure out what your values are. You've got to create your mission statement. And that's your North Star for decision making, right? If you come, because I've had lots of things offered to me. You want to be head of marketing for a hair color? And my answer was no. Well, it's going to pay you more money. I'm like, yes, but it takes me away from what I feel my mission is. And, that has helped me make the decisions that I've made throughout my entire career. And that has been super fulfilling. And so right now, here's where I'm at. I'm with Bumble and Bumble, and this is what's happening. And I get to do exactly what I set out to do with my mission statement. And where tomorrow leads me, I have no idea, but I'm also not going to obsess about that, right? Because if you would have asked me a year ago, or let's call it 14 months ago, I had closed out all my bank accounts in America. Like I really thought I was never coming back. So, you also have to be open to what the universe is putting in front of you and then assess whether that fits into your mission statement or not. And what I knew is that this opportunity that was being presented was perfectly in alignment. And so yeah, I don't know what's next for me. I'm just going to give this all I have in order to, reach as many stylists as possible. And then we'll see what happens.
Amazing. If some, and maybe we'll talk about Bumble and Bumble specifically, but maybe it's more of a general question. But if somebody wanted to work for a brand or get to, if you're a young stylist and you're getting in the industry and you want to work with a brand or you want to, what's that path like? Has it changed? Certainly when I was coming up, like you had to, and how you came up, you've got to do
Yeah,
the PK classes, you've got to do all that. That's still the route.
I would recommend that. And there's a few reasons why. Like, one, I think that people feel like, oh, yeah, I want to work in the office. Oh, but it's a very different thing than being out amongst the stylists all the time. Right? So first you kind of have to say, again, is this in alignment? I felt like I could have more of an impact in alignment with my mission statement by being in an education role than being behind the chair. So I still do work behind the chair. I still jump in and teach whenever it's needed. But the path for me was in alignment with my mission. If somebody else feels like it is, I think they have to test it out first, right? So that's a good way to assess, like, do I like this? Secondarily, though, I think it's really important because like an example is yesterday we had a class in Nebraska and my head of education development and artistry, Matt King, he went and taught the class. And, that's important because he needs to understand, never having taught in we're brand new in Salon Centric. I grew up with Salon Centric. So never having taught in a Salon Centric class, he needed to feel that environment and see what it was like to do the class so that he can be a leader even better to the artists group, the House of Bumble collective that are going in and doing that kind of class. So I feel like, having that route allows you to be a better leader so that you can guide, direct, and inform the people that you're managing or the group that you're talking to. So I would still say that, if you can get in on an artistry level and then you can feel it out, right? Maybe being an artist like an Ashley Norman is actually a better thing to be in alignment with what you're trying to do. I've had artists that I ended up moving over into marketing because they had a marketing degree. And how they wanted to impact was by creating the information that an artist wanted to hear. And they've gone on to do some really amazing work in the industry. So I think, each person is different and it kind of depends on what kind of impact you want to make. But it's always a good place to start, which is as an educator.
That's that's cool.
Well, I mean, you kinda need to do all the different facets anyway within the industry to understand the different stylists,
Yeah.
because there's so many different, like, stylists and things that we do and focus on, where we work, things. So,
Yeah.
that makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, I think it makes most sense. And again, when you're doing PK classes or in your or where you're there, you're honing that craft, right?
Yeah.
Like just how to communicate. Like, how do you communicate in a dead room? How do you in a lively room? You have the every salon has the know-it-all.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? Every salon has that person that wants to ask you the questions just to trip up the teacher, and the only game is to trip up the teacher, which I find annoying. Being in that class with them as well.
Or if you're working for
Usually
a
I
brand that's not.
hired them. That was
Yeah.
that was my
That's a good point.
strategy. I had a artist who's amazing, and I was teaching a class on Melrose Avenue when I was a full-time educator, but also, I managed the local team. And it was one of those, I'm going to try to trip up the teacher. And I was like, you got good questions. Let's talk after. And I'm like, do you want to be an educator? Like at the end of the day, you clearly want your voice to be heard and you are very smart. So let's do that. And they were like,
That's
okay.
Also,
that's a good
too,
approach because I'm just bit already.
and when you're teaching about product, like, how are you making it exciting? Because, there's 1,000 products, 1,000 different things. Like, as an educator, you have to be able to make people excited about it.
Yes, yeah. Well, for Bumble, we have a philosophy, which is products as tools. So every service and every style starts with primers. We actually architected the category many years ago, and we have 5 different primers, just like makeup primers. They all do something different. We have a couple on the horizon, which are super exciting. And then we have our styling products, and then we have our setting products. So throughout the service, we start with a primer, use that as our cutting lotion, go into some sort of a cream that helps with the razor cutting. And then by then, you're seeing the hair come to life. And, the idea is to give the client a haircut that's really like, not that looks effortless, but takes a lot of effort, but really truly is effortless for them because we all know that it's, hard for them to go back and replicate it. We want them to feel good about their hair and be able to replicate it. And so for me, it's more about like, how do we talk about what these do versus I'm going to give you a rundown on every SKU that we have. So, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bumble, they have a lot of SKUs, right?
There's a lot of SKUs. We
They
have
got
like
like 800.
60 no, there's like 100 and something, but we have 60 something in Salon Centric, so I'm just gonna focus on those.
Yeah, that's the goal there, right?
Yeah.
Sheri, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I can't wait to see you on the road. And like, I'll be the annoying one attack show or something.
No, I can't wait to see you as well. Never annoying, we'll invite you towards the end when we are celebrating and having bubbles with Bumble, and,
Well, that yeah,
Fun.
yeah, that definitely sound. I hope it's Sunday because I think we fly out at 6 o'clock on Monday. So
okay,
I hope
we'll make that
Sunday
happen.
night. The
We'll
bubble. Well, that's awesome. Sheri, thank you for making time for us, and thank you very, very much for joining.
thank you.